Thanks for that video. So let me share my screen. Please let me know if you're able to see it.
Yes,
Okay,
we are.
so initially I want to welcome you all for this webinar. Thanks for making it to this afternoon. I hope it will be a very good session. It will be informative, and you will be learning a lot from the industry experts for today. So I'm really excited to host this session. So let me introduce you to the speakers. So we have a couple of speakers today. They are from the academia as well as the industry. So the first speaker is Dr. Abhishek. So Dr. Abhishek has been working as a assistant director in the University of Chandigarh. He's also a postdoc fellow from UCLM Spain, and he is also a senior member of IEEE. So Dr. Abhishek is a SME subject matter expert in machine learning, image processing, IoTs, blockchain, as well as yes, sorry, it's the NS2. Sorry for that. And he also provides consultation on some of these areas. And our second speaker is Dr. Dinesh. Dinesh is an expert in image processing, computer vision, machine learning, and he's also very hands-on guy and has been working for almost like 20 plus years in designing and developing AI and on the various kind of algorithms. He's built lot of teams on the AI front, and he also has lot of publications, both national as well as international, and he also holds 9 patents. So welcome, sir. Welcome to both of you. So let's start off with a quick round of questions. So Abhishek, sir, for over to you.
Yes, sir. Very good evening to you, sir, and thanks for having me here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So can you please co- co- confirm? Sorry, just give me a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you please give information on on how AI is transforming academia?
Yeah. As far as academics is concerned, sir, so it is totally dependent on AI. We cannot say, but partially it is playing a very important role. Without AI, now academia is not possible. As you can see, even though we are doing research, so the current trends and identifying the right ethics and whether the research work is good or not, everything is dependent upon our software, which is maybe deliberate or maybe most of us are aware of Turnitin software, So we are over to it totally in a way. Like, apart from it, if we are talking about AI driven tutoring system, so, Mathia is there. So it is totally based on students' problem and how it is collecting those problems and working on the research outcome or working on the learning outcome of that particular problem. So these are two very generic example, like we all are aware of it. Apart from it, there are lots of other things like uh, post covid, lots of AI courses or lots of non AI courses are introduced, which is only possible to have access due to AI driven scenario or AI driven platform only. So these are the things we are having as far as AI is concerned in academia, according to me, sir.
Okay.
Whether we are talking about data science, whether we are talking about computer vision, whether we are talking about ML, AI, blockchain, whatever we are having. So if we need some, high uh, profile or high expertise over it, so we can have those expertise through AI driven platform only. So before these things happen to be in the picture, the things were not easy. We cannot collaborating like we are collaborating now, sir. We cannot have those platform before. So yeah, AI is very much happening now.
Okay. That's really helpful, sir. I think it was pretty informative. Thanks for that information. Sir, over to you, Dr. Dinesh. So, how is AI basically transforming the tech landscape? I mean, basically, this changes, right, which is basically happening, and how will it basically boost the efficiency and productivity of the industry?
So before starting, let me take the opportunity to thank for having me here and giving me the opportunity to share my views and experience in the area of AI. In fact, like you said, it's very informative, or like you said, it's very thoughtfully kind webinar. So I'm happy to be part of it. So coming to the question on like, okay, so how AI is transforming the technology landscape, especially from the point of efficiency and productivity. So if we talk about the productivity and efficiency, the contribution or the transforming power of AI is very, very substantial. Let me take practical cases actually. Like, okay, so when it comes to efficiency, so I come from like, so in Samsung, we mainly focus on developing a solution for automating the manufacturing process. So we do like a lot of manufacturing process. And one of the important aspect of any manufacturing industry is inspection. Like basically we, whatever we manufacture, that need to be inspected at every stages to ensure that whatever the product we are producing, we should segregate the defects at the source itself so that the defective products should not reach the customer. So before AI, like so the obvious process is to employ manual labors and train them like okay, so how to classify a defect and non-defective products. And typically, like so, they used to like it's a routine job, right? Like every day they need to come and they will be performing the same type of job. And because of this, over a period of time, they may lose the interest and the productivity may go down. Okay, so this productivity going down can also reflect in that compromising on the work they are doing. So in a turn, so they may like okay, so start spilling like defective products to the customer. This is very catastrophic, and it may spoil the brand value of any company for that matter. For now, so, and also like we saw, the other adverse effect of these kind of manual processes, the operational efficiency will come down. So that means like so typically if the company want to increase the production, so then obviously like they need to increase the number of humans to deploy to perform the inspection, and again like so additional cost in terms of training these manual operators to inspect. And if the trained person leaves the organization again, like so there will be a like huge risk and dependencies. Now with the help of AI technology and like so combined with computer vision and other aspects, so we are able to automate most of these tasks. Wherein like okay, so we can reproduce the result. So that means whenever we detect the defect, so we have the evidence that okay, so why that the machine learning algorithm or the computer vision algorithm classified it as a defect. So we have the track, and we have like so these algorithms are like because these are the algorithms, right? They can run 24/7 without any tire or the fatigue. And also like in the similar way they can scale up like so typically if you want to increase the productivity, you can just run another instance of this algorithm. So that way it is significantly improving the efficiency. So this is one example, like so there are many such fields so where AI is performing or increasing the efficiency in day-to-day operations. So where like especially when the efficiency is increased in the tasks which are routine in nature. So whichever like so which is routine and mundane kind of task, those things are getting automated with the help of AI technology, and which is offering a unparalleled increase in the efficiency. When it comes to the productivity, again I will take one example like so again in our organization we used to like okay, so because ours is mostly software development aspect, right? So we need to ensure that okay, so whatever the software we develop, that need to be tested. So testing of this software requires like so writing a test cases. For example, if I take a one module has been written by some developer, and this module need to be tested. So the typical process is once the requirement is given, So developer will develop the code, and the tester is expected to write a test cases for this module. And once he write the test case, we need to execute the test cases and try to see like whether that function, whatever has been implemented, is complying to the standards or the requirements. Now, this is though it is not a, routine or a manual kind of task, like so it requires some of the background. So now with the advancement of like so the recent generative models and LLMs, we are able to like significantly increase the productivity in terms of generating the test cases. So how it is like so typically if it is a general module, generic module, we can ask the AI model to generate a test cases, and we can of course we can always build our own model to fine tune those cases for the specific cases. And with the help of this, so we were able to generate the test cases in a faster manner, and we were able to automate these test cases. And with this, we are able to significantly increase the productivity. If I take one example, there was a case. I don't get into the details of the requirement. There was a case. So for one requirement, so we had given like so the same requirement for the manual tester to write a test case, and same thing we try to generate with the help of this our own custom built LLM. So for this particular case, the manual tester took about 16 hours to write a test cases, and he has generated like about 12 test cases for this particular module. And with the help of generative AI, like you said, it was able to generate the, with including the prompting and the setting up of the things, right? So we were able to generate the test cases in under an hour, less than 1 hour. And the number of test cases generated by this the system or the AI system is 5 test cases. So against the 12 test cases, which is written by the manual tester. And shockingly, the coverage, like so to quantify the test coverage, we call something as a test coverage or the line coverage. So the manual tester, whatever the manually written test cases, was able to cover about 70% of the lines, whereas the 5 test cases generated by this AI system was able to cover 90% of the code. So that signifies or that quantifies the productivity boost. Okay. At the same time, okay, so we should be very, very cautious in using it. But when it comes at a higher level, so currently AI is indeed transforming the technology landscape, both in terms of increasing the efficiency as well as the productivity. I think with these two cases, I can definitely tell that okay, so there is a significant increase in the efficiency and productivity boost with the help of AI algorithms.
Yeah, that was really great, Dinesh sir, because you touched upon two or three different aspects, I would say. The first one is finding the defects in the production, wherein usually untrained person or even, in fact, even a trained human might miss out. And due to the fatigue factor also, there could be some deficiencies. And also on the test coverage, I would say. So looking at the kind of productivity, right? If you look at the number of tests which AI kind of algorithm finds versus what a usual human kind basically will be able to find out, right? I mean, the productivity is really a major factor, I would say. Thanks for that information. Abhishek, the next question is, how can the basically the students or professionals in healthcare, okay, get advantage of AI in day-to-day activities?
Okay, sir. To start with, as we have discussed, that AI plays an important role and all. So, uh, if you are talking like when we are into the real time system or in application field where it is working, and we got to know like Apollo AI system has demonstrated like these things we are doing, kind of, and other hospitals also. So students need to be trained and work on their own skill and craft first. Fine. So let me tell you, there are very few universities which are first tier university like IIT Madras and Triple IT Kottayam. I got to know like they are providing some courses. Apart from them, there are very less universities. I would like to congratulate IIHMR for introducing some specific courses for, you know, healthcare, and I have been a part of this throughout the making of the syllabus. So I have given some inputs into it. So these kinds of initiatives should be taken care of, should get up to the mark to make students aware why we are doing this. And there is a myth like only CS students or non-CS students are getting into it. It's not like that, because I have been mentoring the students from John Hopkins University, LJMU, Liverpool University, and they all are mostly from CSC background, and some of more than 50% are from non-CSC background. So we have to break this barrier, and we have to come with some new concepts. So if you are a good analyst, if you are a good data scientist, so you need to have those basic skills to analyze those data, you know. So these things needed to be taken care of at initially, at the time when we are giving education to them, that these things needs to be done, and you are supposed to get skilled and get self-crafted when you are delivering something to the company. For example, let me tell you, there is a software called Watson from IBM, sir, and it is used for geomics research. Similarly, I have been working on diabetic retinopathy using deep learning. So Google AI tool is there for diabetic retinopathy also. So I am not able to do this until unless I am aware of it, like how to use it, how to get those data import on the tool, and how to get analysis of those data, where to get the data in a get the right prediction, get the right decision out of those data. So these are the things which are the prerequisites when we are dealing with this kind of thing. So basically the basic idea is, let me tell you, like deep learning I have mentioned, like we are using deep learning for diabetic retinopathy, but we are not making any changes in the algorithm which was before there in the conventional approach of deep learning. We are not making a single changes, we are just making hybrid, adding one algorithm with other algorithm and getting it compatible with the data sets we are having. We are making no changes. But at the same time, when we are having real-time data sets, for example, I got to know, I went to one PhD viva, and it was on dyslexia, the problem which the protagonist in Tare Zameen Par, that little guy, was suffering from. So they are having data of the government schools, and they are having data from the premier private schools. So private schools are uh, taking care of the things like this student is not responding in a way we wanting them to respond, but in government schools they are having the same behavior for those students. They don't even recognize that this students is having this problem, you know. So this kind of real data set can get the things done. Otherwise, on the rough data set we are doing any kind of analytics, it is going in a non-directional manner. So uh, at the end of the time, and when we are summarizing it, so basic skill and basic education is required for now to make the students base very much strong, to go further with the results and the decision part and the analytics part. So that's what I believe personally, sir. We are running very behind as far as basic knowledge of algorithm is concerned. We need to focus on that. Yeah.
Thank you, Abhishek sir. Because I can resonate with what you told. One is on the IBM tool, right? IBM
Yeah.
Watson. Because I was kind of actually involved in it, and it was basically for taking the decisions, right? The
Right.
providers, the doctors. It is really helpful, and also the emerging field, right? That is on the diabetic retinopathy. So that is also one of the great tools, I would say. So initially, I would say, I mean, people had to go to the hospitals and the eye clinics and all that. But with all these handheld devices, I would say the diabetic retinopathy. So, I mean, the AI has made it much more easier to diagnose and basically treat this one. So, thanks a lot, sir. I mean, that was really informative. So, the next question, sir, is to you, Dinesh, sir. So, Can you give any this one, right, information on innovation on the using AI in health?
As I already said, like so AI is almost a diagnostic, domain agnostic solution. Like so that means AI is enabling various fields. Like so the either it could be productivity, accuracy, or even the operational efficiency. It is providing in almost all fields actually. Like so now, I don't recollect any other field like so which is left out where like so AI is not made inroad. And one of the very successful cases are the prominent results are coming from the health sector, especially healthcare sector. So there are many aspects or the many facets of the healthcare industries are being touched by AI. So like example like preventive care. So it has made very significant improvement in terms of operational efficiency in the preventive care. Where like okay, so typically there are many cases where it used to take hours together or like so even like so days together to generate the comprehensive report. Okay, have been generated less than few minutes. Okay, so I think there were one case if I could recollect like so in a Mayo clinic like they applied this uh, AI solution for analyzing the ultrasound images of the kidney images actually like and usually like so if the sonologists sit and write a report or generate the comprehensive report. It used to take about 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour. And with the help of this AI technology, like we saw the AI solution, they were able to generate the report maybe under 1 minute. So that's the kind of operational efficiency we are seeing. At the same time, like so when it comes to healthcare, so the two things like okay, so we need to be always very careful. Like one is applying the AI technology at the same time, the precision and the result bias should be like so offset. Actually, we cannot are like so people won't be able to accept the solution if the results are not precise. So that is another thing. Like so, there are many cases where like so even the AI systems are exhibiting the results on par with the specialist in that particular area. Again, like so, even in terms of the risk assessment, there are many cases where like so these AI systems can predict the possibility like okay so based on the data analysis coming from the lot of sensors or even from the scanned images they are able to predict some kind of diseases or the abnormality even without any symptoms. So that means the patient might have gone for some other specific reason or like so for a casual health checkup, but even the specialist or the doctor might have not able to predict those kind of particular pattern. There are some cases even reported like so where the unseen pattern or like so some kind of abnormalities have been detected by the AI system even before the symptoms have been demonstrated or observed. Okay, these are the kind of solution. And even like so, there are a lot of healthcare analytics being currently done with the help of AI technology and diagnostics. Again, like so, there is significant amount of AI technology inroad into the diagnostics. So either it could be like okay, so analyzing and marking. So there are very early solutions are like so very prominent is like so from a diagnostic images or the MRI and CT scan images. So classifying and marking or segmenting the tumor tissue from the healthy tissues and like so marking the different abnormalities. I think there are like so very significant inroad being made in even in the diagnostics and so we are already like seeing some kind of surgical robots, the medical robots, which are performing the surgery on behalf of doctor. Of course, like currently, because the results are still being evaluated, so they might be like okay, so under the monitoring of the specialist. But these robots are able to perform the surgery precisely like so as confirmed to the medical standards. There are even such cases we are hearing or seeing. And so another significant the advancement or like so the outcome of this AI technology in the healthcare is telemedicine or the telehealth actually. Like so where the patient don't have the access to the specialist. Like so the patients sitting in the remote part of the or like a countryside, remote countryside, where they don't have the access to the healthcare, they can still contact, like so, with the help of this AI technology, like so, they are still able to contact the specialist and get the health prescription and like so the prescription and the health support from the specialist. So these are all the some cases where like so AI is really making a inroad. And as I already mentioned, like so this healthcare is one sector where like so we are seeing like so significant traction from the AI technology, and it is started producing a acceptable and reliable results as of now.
Thanks, sir. Thanks. I think you touched upon a lot of points. One is on the bias, because to make sure that the AI models are trained, we should not have any biases, and only then it will be much more, I would say, trustworthy, I would say. And also, you talk the major aspects, right? Like tumors. Nowadays, especially with some of those, this one, right? Advancements, so on the cancer research, oncology, so tumors, finding them out using AI models is also really, I mean, one of the areas wherein we are finding a lot of advantages. And also all this telehealth, telemedicines, and all those some of those areas wherein we are still tapping the kind of advantages which we will get from AI. So thanks a lot for sir. And also for some of the participants, please type in your questions. Okay, so I mean, I can see if I can answer it, or else I will surely direct it to Abhishek sir or Dinesh sir. So please try type in your questions. And also there will be a feedback form. So please wait till the end of the session to basically fill it up, and so that you can get the certificate. Okay, so the next question, sir, is to you, Abhishek, sir. So, any initiatives in IEEE to basically promote AI, right, and encourage learners to basically get more information in AI and data science?
Yeah, actually, a lots of sir. IEEE promoting healthcare and AI and data science in a very bigger way now, post COVID. Before, it was not having certain community dedicated to this, but now they are having some healthcare society, some AI society, they are having some data science society, they are having. So what they are doing basically, they are basically promoting it with the help of conferences, workshops, and symposium, and publications, most probably. So these four things they are doing. One thing I want to discuss, just because there are lots of engineers who have joined this conversation, and there are lots of non are from non-engineering background who are joining us. So it is meant for non-engineering background students also, from biology, from genomics, from computational chemistry, from apart from any like CSC, civil, mechanical. Apart from them, there are lots of many who can join IEEE and get benefited from that particular society. But it seems like it is saying that it is the biggest technical community, but it is not like that. It is welcoming everyone from there. Biomedicine is there, sir. So basically, when we are dealing with data sciences and AI tools and techniques to deal with the data sets we are having, so we basically need data set. Whatever the research that has been going through is totally dependent upon the data set. It is not actually proper AI. It is kind of intelligent healthcare we are making. It is kind of intelligent system we are making, which is totally based on data set. Apart from data set, if you are asking something, or if you are saying that we are doing something, so we are wrong, most probably. So it is intelligent healthcare industry, or it is an intelligent healthcare we are teaching to the students. So IEEE port is providing data set which is very much legal, which is very much ethical, and which is very much generated from the real time scenario. Like, we can bank upon that particular data set to get the results, and we can say that we have done this. So these things IEEE done since long, but specifically for data science and healthcare, they are doing a lot in past, in very recent past, and in coming time also, sir. Yeah. So my suggestion to all the students or all the faculties to encourage their students to get into this community, not for the sake because I am here in IEEE since long. Just you should join kind of ACM Healthcare Society or IEEE Healthcare Society, because they get exposure a lot. They can meet persons like experts like you, like Dinesh sir. They cannot meet by sitting at home. They can meet on webinar. They can meet in the community they are having, and you are accessible to them. You are not easily accessible to the students who are going to college and coming back to home. So these things a faculty should make aware of a student, and they should realize that what is this community can come up with. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. So I would say building block, right, of AI is having the right data sets, because based on the right data sets, I mean, then we will be able to find, I mean, like, let's say, construct a much more stronger AI model. And IEEE is basically giving you all those kind of data sets. I mean, that's the
Right.
building block, I would say. Thanks for that, sir. Thanks a lot. So, sir, the question next to Dinesh, sir. So one of the typical questions, right, which gets asked. Okay, so I mean, how important it is to be savvy with AI? So, is it really important in our day-to-day activities, or is it more like, I would say, much of a just like a what to say, not a necessary skill set? So, what is your thoughts on that, Dinesh sir?
So basically, like, let us take a step back to answer this. And when it comes to AI, there are two aspects actually. One is like always AI works in two aspects. One is from the producer point of view, and another one is from the consumer point. So from the consumer point of view, that means you want to use already built model or built solution for your to solving your specific problems. So there are like some kind of background is required, and like so nowadays with the help of Chat GPT and these kind of solution frameworks, so it is easy, like so you can easily like query the system and you can try to get whatever the information you need. So that way, from the consumer standpoint, like so if you are trying to use the as a end case for your specific cases, so then not much tech savviness is required. All you need to know is what tool need to be used and where to get it, and how to pose your questions, how to frame your questions to get a response for your queries or whatever the problem you want to solve. On the other hand, you want to build from the producer side, like so for example, you want to build a system or you want to build like so a solution for solving a specific problem. That requires like so some kind of deeper insight is required. Basically, you need to understand what is your problem, what data you need, are you have the access to collecting that particular data? Because any AI system success purely revolves or depends on the availability of the data and proper data. So that means like so if you are building a system, then you need to first address like so what problem I am trying to solve. And before even you venture into solving the problem, you need to understand like you ask yourself a question: is it a proper case for AI solution? Is it a problem that can be solved using a simple rule-based system, or AI technology is required to solve this problem? So that is the second point. And then you start addressing the data-related issues like use of the data, how to collect the data, what data set is required, and whether I have the proper way of annotating and labeling this data. Once that is done, like so now again, like there are a lot of frameworks available and lot of no-code platforms are available these days, where you can just feed the data. You can select the model, like so a drop-down models are drop-down methods are available to select the specific machine learning or the deep learning models. You can just feed your data, select the architecture or the model or the classifier. Then you try to set some hyperparameters. Even again, like so, some of the standard predefined parameters are already set. You can train and you can get the model. Okay, so if you are trying to build a model, again, there are a lot of frameworks available to make your task very simple, but it requires like so some kind of homework is required, or like so background work you need to do it in terms of defining the problem, defining the data, collecting the data points, and then like so, selecting the right set of tools. But when it comes to using it, I think so nowadays so it is very very easy for anyone to start using it. Actually, probably even in Samsung, you can just circle it. So it will search and it will try to give you the answer. Circle to circle that AI solution. So that is the advertisement point for promoting that particular product, right? So it could be as simple as that using it. Okay, but one point I would like to highlight at this point of time is one is your tech savviness or so both from the consumer point of view as well as from the producer point of view. But always try to ensure that whatever the query you are posing or whatever the solution you are trying to get, is it under the ethical framework? So that is very, very important. So nowadays you can use ChatGPT for anything, but when you try to use it, please be aware that you have a complete awareness of what you are using it for, and it is within the ethical framework. So these are the very, very important thing is required. And another thing is, since this chat GPT and these kind of technology is still evolving, try to take some time to assess, okay, whatever the insight you get it from the AI system is proper. So put some effort to understand this. I think these are the things probably one need to consider when we are trying to use the AI system for any of the cases actually.
Thanks, Dinesh sir. I think you touched upon again a lot of very relevant points, I would say. So first and foremost, right? I mean, we can. It is not really required that someone should be a technical expert. They can start using it just like to start with having the right kind of prompts, making sure that at least they can put some groundwork or some foundational kind of this one work. Based on that, in their day-to-day activities, they can start using AI. I mean, it's basically to make sure that their life is much more simpler. Certain mundane tasks, I would say, can be basically automated using AI. So thanks, sir. Thanks for that. So meantime, for all the participants, so if you have any questions, can you please put it on the chats so that I can see if I can answer it, or else we have Abhishek sir or Dinesh sir, I can route it to them. Okay, so Abhishek sir, the next question is to you. So one of the common questions, right, which gets asked, I think you kind of covered it in the previous question also. So is it really required for someone without, I would say, a non-computer background to basically learn AI? Or is it mandatory for someone to be very technical in computers?
No, not actually. Let me give you an example. Like when we were doing our BTech, lots of courses were not there when we are doing it. When our teachers were in 90s, 70s, or 80s, so they were not having Python at that point of time. So they cannot say like I'm not studied this, so I cannot teach you. You know. So this kind of a stuff we are having. So I have said what I have gone through the experiences in the recent past. Like I have gone through with the students who were working in some pharmaceutical company and working in some statistical company without having a BTech degree or without having any kind of BSc CS or MSc CS, but they have done their thesis and they have done the work at par excellence. Like I was very impressed what they have done and what they have published along with that. So it is not about technical degree. It is about zeal, it is about interest, it is about like if we are going to explore this, what we are going to get at the end of the thing. So whatever we are doing in the research work, sir, or in a master's work, or in a diploma work, or in a data science analytics work, it should have some social impact. That's what I believe. And social impact come from like what we are doing in the sector of healthcare, what we are doing in the sector of energy, what we are doing in the sector of agriculture. Apart from it, what we are doing now for risk management, fraud tolerance, or kind of face recognition, what I also did in my PhD work, but it is not having that impact, sir, to be honest. So I moved my work from object detection and computer vision to energy, to renewable energy, to photovoltaic cells, to lithium battery, to renewable, windmill generation. So that's what I can, you know, I can contribute something in field of these things. Like I can give something to the coming future students or future researchers, so they can pursue the things. Let me tell you an example. Suppose somebody from CSE background has done a research and they have taken a paper which you have published in 2021, but how they verify that Mukund sir has published this paper with this particular algorithm? So this algorithm is validated on that particular data set. They have not gone through with the code you have done. So I have been raising such kind of questions in all the keynote or all the talk I did before, but I'm not getting that kind of attention. But I would like to draw your attention in that particular phase, because if we are not going with the conventional algorithm, so the quality will be diminished for sure. So we should make changes in the conventional algorithm, and that is a long time before, when we were having BSc engineering, when we are not having BTech, when we were not having BE. So yes, I do emphasize, like, I have found lots of students with non CSC or non technical background who did a great job, and they are doing job in MNCs, and they are doing very good. So I encourage all the students who have joined, and the teachers, to encourage those students, to make them aware of the things like craft and basic skill. So we don't need a great coder for data science, and we don't need a great having great CGPA in technical degrees. So it is worthless for us until unless he is not interested or she is not interested.
Yeah, so that's
That's what
really
I
helpful,
believe.
right? Yeah. So the
Yeah.
thing is that the domain also matters a lot. So, like, let's say if a person has the zeal, right, to
Right.
basically
Right. Right.
learn AI, and they have the good domain knowledge, they can always contribute to that particular field, not just on the computer side, I would say, but it could be any other field also.
Of
Thanks,
course,
sir.
yes.
Thanks a lot for that. Yeah. The next question, Dinesh sir, is to you. So the typical kind of questions which at least I kind of faces, what are the skill sets required, especially if someone has to get into the AI space or the data science, right? The or the fields like that. So what exactly are the skill sets, sir?
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thanks for asking. And before answering this specific question, like so just to even Dr. Abhishek Kumar has mentioned, like so in the previous, typically like so the success of AI system, or like so anything like so any technology or any solution you build, so will become more meaningful and more useful if you start with a problem statement. Like so now try to see like so what is the problem, okay, and what is the magnitude of the problem, why it has to be solved. So that is the starting point. Once you find that, then probably we need to work backwards and try to see what technology it will try to enable. Like so, if I try to take, okay, there is a pain point, significant pain point in the society, and probably like so this solving this particular problem will enable like so they create enable or increase the value to the people around it. So once you start from there and try to look for a appropriate technology, and then like these days what is happening like we so now because AI is a boom or the buzzword. So any problem, any damn problem you take, like so people will try to force fit the AI technology. So that should not happen. I think like of course AI is a wonderful. It has a lot of potential to solve the problem. That doesn't mean that AI is alone can solve all the problems. AI is the right solution for every problems. That should we should understand. Coming to the specific question you asked about, like, so if somebody want to get into the learning of artificial intelligence, get into the domain of learning the or mastering or like so pick up the AI skills. So the first and foremost thing is probably like so if you are trying to build your AI models from the generator point of view or generation point of view, of course you should be familiar with programming proficiency. Basically, at the end of the day, you need to code certain thing. Like if not like so very extensive code. Like these days, so there are like code generating systems are available, like with the generative AI, but still you need to aware about like so how to integrate the system. So from that point of view, like so programming proficiency is required. So any programming language for that matter is fine. Like okay, I think Python is most widely used, especially from the point of AI system building. I think Python and like so, and there are a lot of frameworks are available like so TensorFlow and PyTorch, so that people can familiarize with that. And then comes like okay, so machine learning and deep learning, like so different classifiers. So what kind of classifier need to be used? When to use what kind of classifier? If my data is continuous data, if my data is a kind of like so mixed modality data, what kind of models need to be selected? So whether I'm trying to perform a classification or a prediction, classification prediction in the sense. So whether my object is to perform like so a disease non-disease classification, or my object is to predict so in the next 5 years, like so, what will be his the glaucoma level, or like so the is BMI index. So if that is the kind of thing, like so probably we go for a prediction model. Like so, you need to know like so when to use classification, when to use prediction. So those kind of thing, and like so if your data is abundant and like so you don't have a enough feature engineering technique available, when to go for deep learning technique and what kind of deep learning. Like so, for example, if you're building a classifier, so CNN kind of architecture, or if your object is to detect a abnormality in an image, so maybe object detection or the detection and localization of the segmentation. These are the kind of things probably one can learn. And another important aspect is data analysis. Okay, so data analysis plays very important role in AI system. So before you venture into like so this one, you need to also spend some time to pick up the data analysis skills. So like analyzing the data modality, distribution, and like so the correlation and so these kind of data analysis you need to understand. So whether the data is spread, like so what is the data? Is it possible to plot and see the distributions? Those kind of things one has to learn. And then like so to visualize the results, like so probably somebody has to pick up the visualization skills. And primary and one of the most important thing is the mathematical and statistical skills are very crucial. I think probably like okay, so even before we venture into picking up these kind, I think probably you need to, of course, it may not be very advanced mathematical and statistics skills are required. Basic mathematics and statistical skills are good enough. Like so vector algebra, which probably we have studied in our graduation level or even the PU level, the plus two level, right? So those kind of the mathematical skills and the statistical skills are good enough to understand. I think these kind of skills will make someone to be ready to pick up the AI skills.
Thanks, Dinesh sir. I think that was really informative because you kind of touched upon those what are the basic mathematical kind of this one which you'll need to know, and also selection of the right models. Is it predictive or generative? And also, I mean, basically getting to know what domain you're working on so that you can pick and choose what is applicable for you. Okay, so team, we just have under 5 minutes left. So anyone has any questions? Anybody from the audience?
Sir, in the chat box, there are two, three questions. Can you see that?
I'm not able to see that. Just give me a minute.
Shall I dictate it, sir, or Joyce can?
Yeah, I think yeah, because I'm not able to see the to explain the scope of AI in pharma sector. So anyone, sir, Dinesh sir or Abhishek sir, the scope of AI in
I
pharma.
think like okay, so as far as I know, like so this AI technology is being used for the difference for a given a kind of diseases actually. I think a lot of emphasis has been given and like so even the there are cases like so to study the efficiency of a drug on a particular diseases and then outcome there are a lot of reinforcement learning methods being built to study the efficiency of the drug. I think there are a lot of work happening. I think that's what I can tell the couple of
Sure.
cases.
Thanks, sir.
Dr. Abhishek Kumar, I think if you can articulate or add.
Uh,
So
should
Abhishek
I
sir,
add?
anything you want to add? You can either add to that. So the question is the
Yeah,
scope of AI
I'm
in
very much.
pharma.
Yeah. I was aware of the question actually. Sir was saying, Dinesh sir was saying, so I was just hearing him. Yeah, he was very much right. Drug discovery are there are lots of books got edited and lots of books have been written over it. Uh, Apart from it, I would like to tell like the person who has asked this. I guess he or she is not aware of the uh, programming skills like or not very much confident in programming skills, so I would like to just suggest some tools like rapid miner or Weka tool to go ahead and get some data set and work on it and get back to us like what they have done, so they can analyze it better, they can have a better analysis on the console window. Once try with these tools, these are only simulators, you need not to code over it, like the value is there, rapid miner is there, and they all are having their free version available for 1 month or 2 months. So you just go through with it, explore it, and you will get to know. Like I have said, I am working on energy sector, AI in renewable energy. So we are having only data set to analyze it. We are doing nothing apart from it. So when we are doing it, so sir has said it right. Like you should go through with the data set and just try to find out what is going on and what we can find out, like to have a better decision, or to have a better prediction, or to have a result out of it, like what we have reached upon. Yeah.
Thanks, sir. So there is one more question, sir,
Yeah.
from Saurabh Kumar. So what are the challenges hospitals face when adopting AI technologies?
Actually, lots of. I will summarize it in small way, and then Dinesh sir would take it and explain it. But there are lots of like human error, like just human error is there. Like for example, we can take COVID examples, like for vaccine examples, there are lots of side effects which is coming right now, right? So we have taken a threshold, so above threshold we are taking that he is COVID or she is having COVID, below threshold we are taking some of the parameter we have taken, and we have judged that he or she is having COVID, or she or he is not having COVID. But it was not right in all the way. So there are concepts like overfitting, underfitting, so all those things are there. It's nothing like perfection, we cannot precise it by using AI ever. We can only predict it. That's why it is called prediction and classification. Whether we are working on healthcare or whether we are working on a stock market analysis, it's open sliding window and lower window. Whether we are working on any other thing which is very critical. So I'm just trying to give you an example like false positive and false negative. So AI can be crucial in that manner. If that particular that particular disease is existing and it is saying it is not there, so it is critical, it is hard real time system, very little, cannot be cured later. So these are the things we are facing right now, and these are the challenges. So we must have to go with the hypothesis, and we must have to set some parameter before going through with it. That's what I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think someone has to go on mute. Tushar, I think you had to go on mute. Okay. Sir, Dinesh sir, there is one more question that's for you. So what are the skills, essential skills for a career in AI and healthcare?
Uh, yeah, sir. I think I already mentioned about like so. What are the specific skills required for picking up the AI technology? So in addition to that, like if somebody want to pick up like so or adopting this AI technology successfully in the healthcare, so they should understand the domain, like so the domain of healthcare. So there are many aspects of healthcare, like so whether it is the telehealth or the robotic surgery or diagnostics, there are many areas, right? So within that, what particular problem we are trying to solve? So, somebody has to like so understand the domain thoroughly, and what are the current process, like so currently, like so what is the manual process? They try to bring in the AI technology to automate or optimize the process. First, they should understand the bottlenecks and also the current process properly. And then comes like so then the next thing that need to be addressed is addressing the challenges of data gathering. So the data gathering, like so what kind of data need to be gathered, so how frequently and what how to annotate, how to validate, those are so once the solution is built, then the evaluation part of the solution is also very, very important, especially in the healthcare industry. So evaluation of AI solution is very, very crucial because so we are very, very focused on like so very high precision and recalls, especially in the healthcare domain. So we should now define appropriate metrics to evaluate these models in a real-time data as well as like so the historical data to ensure that okay so the models are working reliably well and so that it can be put into the operation. These are the kind of things like so one need to focus. So mainly like okay, so of course so one is learning about the tools and technologies are the aspects which is required to pick up the AI skill and then domain skills and then the post operation like so once it is deployed into the system how to manage the performance. Like so, today we are talking about the ML ops. Like so, once you put it into the operation, how do you ensure that okay, so whatever the model you built and put it into the operation is reliable, still reliable. And another important aspect when it comes to healthcare industry is see, most of the time. The AI solution outputs are like kind of a black box. Like AI predicts, okay, this is disease. So probably you may not get any insight. Like so, why it has classified it as a defect or non-defect. So nowadays we are talking about more of a explainable AI. That means so not only I'm accepting the result from the AI system, also we are trying to insist on getting the insight, like why the system classified it as a defect or a diseased or a non-diseased. So those kind of insights definitely will help to adopt AI technology successfully in healthcare domain.
Thanks, Dinesh. Hari. I mean, it was really helpful, the answer. I think, Saurabh, I think your questions are answered now. So we have reached the timeline, the time limits, I would say. So you'll be getting a link. Please fill it up. And if you have any other further questions, you can reach out to Joyce. So she should be able to help you out with some of the further questions. Uh, so yeah. Any other questions or any other questions or concerns which you have, right? It will be either Joyce or you can reach out to Dr. Pankaj. So they will be able to kind of take it up from there. So Joyce or I mean any other this one? I mean, do we need to turn on the camera? Arun, Joyce?
So tell me, sir.
Yeah, do we need to turn on the camera?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So for all the participants, can you please turn on the camera? So Arun, just let me know. I mean,
Yeah,
if you
sure,
have
sir.
taken the
Sir,
course.
we have shared a feedback link on the chat box.
Okay,
So once they fill the feedback form, they will receive an certificate automatically to
sure.
their email ID.
Sure. Thanks, all. Thanks for this wonderful session. Thank you, Abhishek sir, Dinesh sir. I think it was really great. I mean, the kind of feedback we got and the kind of answers, right? Especially with all the different kind of people who are in this session. I think it is really advantageous for people to take a career in the AI or the data science space. Thanks all.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yeah,
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Rai sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
thank you, sir. Thank you, Dinesh, sir.
thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Mukund.